January, we were at 6.7 million. We had been running just about $7 million. This was a little less. You can see that all the other months we've been running about 8% to 9%, and this month it was down to 7%. So that's a good thing. Year to date, we're at 46,898,000 for total expenditures, and we have unspent balance of 42,600,000. So we have about 47% of the budget left for the 4 remaining months. So we're in a pretty good position right now for expenditures and for revenues. So everything's a go. And like I said, hopefully by the end of March we'll have some numbers to project on and try to look at what we can do for year-end projects and whatnot. Any questions? Thank you.
All right. Good evening, Dr. Brads, Madam Chair, members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to do the operations report tonight and keep you updated on our facilities and transportation and food service. We'll start off at our elementary schools. At A.G. Richardson Elementary School, we've done some door hardware repair. We periodically do that throughout the division to make sure that our locks are working and teachers and students are safe in their classrooms. The picture you see there is of a restroom at Emerald Hill. Our painters are busy working out there at Emerald Hill to paint the restrooms and other common areas in schools as we go across the division to make sure our facilities look neat and clean as the students and teachers go throughout the day. At Farmington Elementary School, the security grant is still ongoing. The doors have been ordered and are in. That installation should take place over spring break so that no students and staff will be in the school. The contractor will be there working, and we will monitor the contractor as they do that work. At Pearl Sample, we had to replace one of the hot water heaters in the building. And then moving down to Sycamore Park, the learning colleges out back have some age on them. Of course, our maintenance staff do periodic upkeep on those, whether it's the underpinning that needs to be replaced or a door lock or something with a ramp so that those areas remain safe for students as well. The picture you see is of the cooling tower, and our maintenance staff actually built a walkway around that cooling tower, which will make the piece of equipment easier to service and maintain, which wasn't done when the building was built, so our staff spent time doing that. So that's a much needed upgrade around that piece of equipment. At the middle schools, of course, Culpeper Middle School, the 2 upper pictures, what you're seeing is some roof repairs. We do that periodically to some of the roofs around the county. CMS is one of the ones that we have to spend some time on. We did have some window repairs there this month as well. And then at Floyd T. Benz Middle School, what you're seeing is a picture of the gym walls that were painted all the way up to the ceiling on both ends, actually making that look a whole lot better for our students and staff. At the high schools, we'll talk a little bit about the press boxes at both sites. Actually, the final inspections for Eastern View press boxes happened a little bit quicker than I thought. I anticipated early this week. They actually happened on Friday. I'm scheduled to do a walkthrough with the contractor tomorrow, Wednesday, so that we can close out that project and the folks can start using those press boxes. There are a couple of small punch list items that they'll be working on while it is in use. Of course, not at the time it is actually in use, but they'll be able to start using those press boxes here this week. At CCHS, as you know, a little bit behind schedule, but probably within the next week or so, those should be ready for final inspections as well. So those projects will be closing out. What you see in that top picture is a boiler heat tube replacement. Typically, periodically, those go bad. It's kind of like a heating element, and those have to be replaced. The picture to up at the top where it's we call it the cyclone wall. They ordered some nice lettering to go on the wall. Our painters actually were able to put that up, so a nice addition to EVHS. Bottom picture, what you see is one of our technicians who is doing a fan motor overhaul and replacement. They also had to do an HVAC compressor replacement at Eastern View, and again, those things happen periodically throughout the division, just age of equipment. And you see at the bottom a picture of the completed outside of the EVHS softball press box. Of course, you see our meal numbers, 2018 to 19, and 2019 to 20, and that was at the end of February. We were at 1.140 last year. We're at 1.232 this year. Our maintenance work orders are a little bit down this month, which is a good thing. So our guys are keeping up the equipment as they should. And then our transportation, our current class has 2 trainees, and our next class will begin on 3/16. We're reviewing applications this week to see how many folks will be in that class. Wanted to point out National School Breakfast Week was last week, I believe it was, and a couple of our students are pictured there. Madison Hill at 5th grade, Pearl Sample Elementary School. Juliana Schwab, 4th grade at Pearl Sample. Kristen Howell, one of our cafeteria workers at CMS. And then Rebecca Thomas, a CMS 6th grader. CTE, like to report that all the footers are in except for the ones where the outside trades canopy will be. That's going to be done at a later date because they still have to run some utilities in that area, and we don't want to get in the way of those utilities. Stormwater is ongoing. The stormwater and wastewater piping is ongoing. We are in talks with the contractor. There may have to be some blasting to get some of that in, and most of it will be up the area of the new road along Frank Turnage. And again, we don't have finals on that yet. Well, I hope to have something in the next couple of weeks of how much and what, if any, we're going to have to blast. Easements are still ongoing with VCCS and Dominion, and also with VCCS and the gas company, but hopefully those will get worked out soon. The steel, as you see, is being erected. Those pictures actually make it look like they were taken months ago, but that was only a week ago. And wow, if you ride by there and you look across 29, you can see how much they've done in just the past 4 to 5 days. So they're moving along with the steel. The decking, I went out this afternoon, so the decking that goes on top of the steel is actually going to be starting to be put on tomorrow on that B section of the building, which is closest to 29. So a lot of good stuff going on there. Those are some of the drone pictures that we get from one of our employees, Bo Lamb, and you can see the actual layout of the building before the steel went up. So that kind of gives you a picture. Bo Corbin, I'm sorry, I said the name incorrectly. It's Bo Corbin. I don't know where, but anyway, that will show you actually what the building footprint looks like. So I think that you can start to see actually what your building's going to look like. So good stuff going on. Happy with the progress that they're making at this point. And of course, every month I want to share some of our employees, and we have Elizabeth Gray, Yvonne Hoffman, and Rochelle West, some of our bus drivers and aides. Be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any questions for Dr. Timmons? Yes, Mr. Keene.
Farmington Elementary, those doors, I know the current ones are probably older than, they're the original doors, I assume, right, with those?
I believe most of
So
them are.
the new doors, they conventional locks, or are they going to have a key lock on them now? Are they still going to be using that
They
flip
won't
thing?
have the flip thing. No, it'll be key locked.
It's a key lock?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that was a big safety
Right.
discussion. We do lockdown drills and so forth. So
Correct.
that's great. Thank you.
Anyone else? Do you by any chance know how old the learning cottages are at Sycamore Park?
Ms. North, I don't. I could get that information to the superintendent, but I really don't at this point.
I think they're maybe older than some of our board members. Thank you. Thank you very much for the information you shared with us
Yes,
this
ma'am.
evening. Okay, going on to board member reports. Are there any board member comments? And I'm looking to the Ms. Burnett, Ms. Smith, Ms. Lockenville? No. Mr. Keene?
Absolutely. I want to take my time to thank the board, or at least those who voted to explore the idea of the firearm safety courses being offered. I'm confident that staff will do their due diligence with the Eddie Eagle program to see where it best fits in the school day. I think the discussion geared more towards tonight to where we're going to put it there in the school day and how it's going to affect our teachers and so forth. But from the little bit of research I've done talking to experts in education, which I am not, that it's been done very simple before across the state. So again, I want to leave you with, I don't know where the number 60 minutes came from, whether it has to be a 60-minute course or whether it could be 5 minutes in a PE classroom or 5 minutes in a history lesson or so forth. But regardless of how long it takes to teach that education or that safety course, teaching our children safety, it's going to save a life. And if you value a 60-minute course throughout a whole school year over, putting this into our school year or curriculum, I just don't see that happening. And I appreciate you really consider looking into it and see what it can do for our children and our community.
Thank you, Mr. King. Ms. Brown? Ms. Baker?
Oh, I've probably said enough, except thank you to Mrs. Gilbert and the Emerald Hill Elementary School for inviting us to read during Read Across America. I had a wonderful time. The thank you note's in the mail.
Dr. Bratz?
Yes, Madam Chairman and members of the board, since we're here this evening, and I can see his head barely, but I would like to thank Culpeper Media and the station manager, Jonathan Krawcheck, for the return of, wait for it, I guess it's been a while, a hiatus, and we can call it Season 1, Episode 1, but a return of programming called Accent on Education. So we have that out there now. It's a program that highlights both the people and the programs at Culpeper County Public Schools. That's underway again. I'd like to again thank the station for helping us with that. We have one episode out there now. If you do not have live access to this programming online, you can see the program on demand. I think I got that correct. Any thumbs up back there? Yes, I nailed it. So a shout out to Culpeper Media and our staff, and particularly our Executive Director of Human Resources, Michelle Metzger, was the host for the program. It started with the Sycamore Park program and volunteering, also an update for the community to see the board's motivation behind and doing the communications audit. And it finished up, I believe, with the students doing the water project from CCHS and their Honor Society. Great project. So well done. I just wanted to take this opportunity in this medium to say that's out there now, and we hope to have many more episodes. So thank you, Ms. North, for allowing me to share that.
Certainly. And I also want to reiterate what Ms. Baker said. I've had the pleasure of going to Emerald Hill several times in the last month and a half. Ms. Walker spoke, Dory spoke about their fine arts program, and I've been so impressed with the kindergartners, the third graders, and I think it was the fourth graders who did choir concerts for their parents, and they were remarkable. It was really fun to watch their progression. And by the fourth graders, they were dancing and twirling and singing, and it was very impressive. And I, too, really enjoyed reading to my third and fifth graders that day. So thank you for the invitation. With that, we are going to now go on to information items. This is committee reports. If anyone would like to verbalize the reports that are embedded in the agenda, I invite you at this time. And I will look to Mr. Keene. Ms. Brown? Ms. Baker? Ms. Burnett?
I had the pleasure of attending the Culpeper Youth Advisory Council meeting, and we were working on the bylaws and working with one of the student leaders, and we're very excited with things to come and doing some marketing and getting this program out to more students in the county. So, and then we have a couple events coming up. March 10th, tomorrow, the Culpeper Internet Safety Coalition is having a meeting at Elevate, beginning at 2 p.m., discussing a possible teen summit involving a youth subcommittee. March 20th, Teen Talks is at Eastern View Forum from 6 to 7:30, and they're going to have a program on healthy relationships. And then March 23rd, the Old Country Store has offered their venue for fundraising in conjunction with their car show. We're not sure if that's actually going to happen, but we're in the works with that. And then there was a $250 grant that was awarded to Young People Saving Lives. And we discussed some internship opportunities for youth. And we continued to work on the bylaws and brainstorming on how to increase student participation in this wonderful program, Culpeper Youth Advisory Council.
Thank you, Ms. Burnett.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith? Ms. Luckenbill? Well, you know I have to say something about Career Partners. I know that you all are very aware of the E Squared program. One of the subcommittees of Career Partners, Virtual Energy Subcommittee, they're considering how they can support the newly formed VHSL eSports program and the possibility of internships and eSports Exploration Day, and also possibly working into something similar to E Squared for eSports with a competition with monetary rewards. This particular subcommittee is really excited, and I can see that the support for the eSports program will be there from Career Partners. It's another exciting opportunity to meet students' needs that aren't interested in typical sports, touch sports, but more of this kind of sports. So very exciting. I do want to remind everyone that E Squared preliminary competitions will take place March 26th, and the finals will be in this room on April 9th. And now, the next thing on here is membership. After that, we have numerous appreciation weeks for our employees. Please take an opportunity to recognize our paraeducators, job coach, security officers, and lunchroom monitors, March 9th to 13th. Our assistant principals, April 6th to 10th. Please give them a pat on the back. And Employee Appreciation Week for our librarians and library clerks is April 20th to 24th. And we couldn't do what we do without all of the support from our volunteers that come into our schools each and every day. So please, if you're working with a volunteer, recognize them during their week of April 20th to 24th. And then April 20th to 24th again. Recognize our bookkeepers, our attendance officer, administrative assistants, our department coordinators, payroll techs, benefit administrator, and licensure specialist. You'll note the future meeting dates there. And now, do we have a motion to go into closed session?
I would make a motion that the school board convene a closed session to consider the following personnel matters pursuant to the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711, Section A. 1. A, the appointment of classified personnel. B, the transfer of classified personnel. C, the separation of certified personnel. D, the separation of classified personnel. E, the approval of 2019-2020 Yale Elementary hourly ESL tutor. F, the approval of 2019-20 hourly interpreters. G, the approval of substitute teachers for 2019-2020. H, the separation of 2019-2020 part-time coach. I, the approval of 2019-2020 Sycamore Park Extended Day for Belcourt tutoring. J, the approval of coaching supplements for 2019-20 CCHS. K, the approval of coaching supplements for 2019-20 EVHS. L, the approval of coaching supplements for 2019-2020 CMS and FTBMS. And M, the discussion of student matters related to named student A expulsion as permitted by the Code of Virginia 2.2-3711A, Section 2.
Is there a second? Who did I hear? Ms. Burnett, second, thank you. Any discussion? There being no discussion, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion carries. We'll go into closed session at 8:07.
Taste stays on my mind. Girl, you keep me thirsty for another. Please don't mistake me or try to make me the shadow of anybody else. I ain't the him or her you think I am. I'm just trying hard to be myself. Oh, society's goal is to be part of the whole. It may sound good to you, not to me. Let me be, to think like I want to. Let me be, that's all I ask of you. I am what I am, and that's all I ever can be. Don't try to plan me or understand me. I can't stand to be understood. I could never give in to or ever live up to being like you think I should. I've got some inner need which I'm trying to heed. I can't take hand-me-down destiny. Let me be, to think like I want to. Let me be, that's all I ask of you. I am what I am, and that's all I ever can be. Don't try to change me or rearrange me to satisfy the selfishness in you. I'm not a piece of clay to mold to your moves each day, and I'm not a pawn to be told how to move. I'm sorry, I'm not the fool